I know some of you are probably going to say, you know what, here we go again. Ruwa Organic is back again with some bad news. He doesn't learn, he doesn't listen. We've told him that self-farming doesn't work. We keep telling him you need to be on the ground. But you need to hear this out. You really need to hear me out. A few weeks ago, maybe months, I made a video saying that I had installed some cameras which I can operate remotely. You remember? If you haven't, I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. I made a video where I was very excited that I could see everything on the ground. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, all is well. Every morning, I have a monitor here. As I'm doing my work, I'm looking at the monitor. I'm seeing what's happening on the farm, who's coming, who's leaving. Are they doing what they're supposed to do? But what you didn't know was these cameras were mainly covering the area where we have the chickens and of course looking out to the fields. But these cameras are not strong enough to zoom way out there, hundreds of meters. So I was literally happy with where things were. And then I also mentioned that I had planted more than 40 moringa trees. And I said I was really excited about this because I was going to use the moringa leaves as part of my chicken feed, my own custom chicken feed. I was really excited about that. And I paid a lot of money for these trees, by the way, because they were planted by a professional. These trees were planted around April. So all this time I had given instructions to the workers to water these trees twice or 3 times a week. And every time I asked them, they told me, hey, we're watering the trees. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. So as time went on, I thought everything's under control. Now, the reason why I could not see these trees, they were in the blind spots of the cameras. So I couldn't really see those trees because they are right on the boundary of the farm. So all this time I'm saying to myself, you know what, when I get back to Zimbabwe, I'm going to see my trees growing because I've actually grown a moringa tree. In 6 months, the tree can be, over 1 meter tall. That's how fast they grow because I have it at the house. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to something because these are trees. I mean, they're not animals which you have to take crazy care of. No, they're just trees. All you need is just to water them. How bad can it be? So one day, I listened to Mr. Chirume's videos. He's another fellow YouTuber. By the way, if you haven't watched his videos, I encourage you to go and watch his videos. Very, very good. And I like his message that he's promoting on his channel, which is also obviously very, very positive in his own way, which is very, very good. So anyway, he mentioned that he was doing these farm tours. So I thought, you know what, let me reach out to him and just have a surprise visit at the farm and just see what is happening. I'm sure some of you have seen the interview that I did with him, where we did an interview. He was on one of the cameras in the farm, and we spoke at length, almost 30 minutes, and everything was, flawless. Very good. Communication was fantastic through the cameras. So there was supposed to be another video to follow up from that. And I think Mr. Chirume also mentioned it on his channel, that there was another video to follow up that one, to give a tour of the farm. So I had a conversation with him, and he says, you know what, this place has a lot of potential. So when he said that, I took it in a way that it's a nice way of saying not much is happening, but it could be better. But I felt like he was holding something back. So I tried to call him. And while he was driving, something happened with his car, and he had to cut off the phone. I think something had gone bad with the car. And you can imagine what I was going through. I was so eager to find out what he found out when he went on the ground. So the next day, I think I called him. It was in the morning. So I said, hi, Mr. Chirume, is everything okay? Yeah, everything is fine. Everything is good. Sorry about yesterday, blah, blah, blah. I said, no problem. So tell me, what's the situation on the ground? He says, no. I need to send you a video and watch it first. As you can imagine, I'm feeling I've got this anxiety now. What is really going on? We can't discuss, and he's busy, which I understood as well. But as you can imagine, I'm curious to find out what really is happening. And I felt like I was in suspense, right? But no, don't take it the wrong way. I'm not saying what he did was wrong, but it was just what happened. So he sent me the video. It's about 16 minutes, I think. So I'm watching this video. To my surprise, the moringa trees that I thought were growing, some of the holes had nothing in them. I was shocked, and I just felt so devastated. So I said to myself, oh my goodness. And then I started getting angry. And I was getting angry because how can two grown-up men fail to water trees? How difficult is that? So in the video, I didn't see all the trees, but I knew something was wrong because even the trees that existed did not grow, very well. You can see that it's plant growth. So I called for a meeting straight away. So I asked them, hey, listen, can you let me know why my trees died? And the answer I got from that was, it's the month of June, and in June, trees sometimes they don't survive; they dried up. I said, listen, I know trees can shed leaves, but to dry up, no. And these trees are not planted in June; they were planted in April. They had 2 months to adapt and adjust and everything, which I saw because I was being sent some videos, and I was happy about the trees. So they said no, and that was what happened. So I asked how many trees then died. I was expecting to hear 2 trees or 3, because that's the one in our meetings. It was just the one tree that they said was damaged by the tractor. So I asked one of the guys to go and count the trees that are dead. To my surprise, it was 14 trees. So at least that's what he reported. So we had a second count. Turns out there were 17, almost 50% of the trees. Imagine 50% of these trees, and these trees are so easy to grow. 50%, and these guys who are working right now, they get paid on time. Never have we missed a day. Everything is paid on time because it's being managed properly. Secondly, we actually buy them groceries. And the reason why we do this, we try to treat them like human beings. I've seen the treatment of farm workers before, and I just felt like it was inhuman. It was not right. So here I am now. I'm in that position. I don't want to do what I saw growing up at the farms. Because I used to travel, I used to have family that, that lived on the farm and so on. And I could see how the white farmers sometimes used to treat the farmers. And I didn't like it. So I promised myself that I would make that change. I would not treat anyone like that. So my approach to this is, I just treat everyone like a human being. So I asked them again, guys, please, 17 trees? Really? We have meetings almost every day. You couldn't even tell me that, okay, 2 are dead today, another 2 are dying, or 3 are dying. You wait for someone who makes an unannounced visit to tell me that this is the situation. How are you taking care of the farm? And what makes it even sad? I was praising these guys. Go and watch Mr. Chirume's video. Go and watch it. I was praising them. I was saying everything is working great now because I have a great team, blah, blah, blah. But I was fooling myself. And that's what makes this whole thing so sad. It's really, really, really painful. So anyway, so I say to them, what you've done, is not right. Do you realize how hurt I am with what you've done? You don't report that there's something wrong. Why? And you know what he says to me? He says to me, you keep talking about these trees. Can you imagine? Now you're being told, why you keep talking about these trees? Like it's a big deal. So what I've done now, I've spoken to the lady, I think it's Miss Johnson, who came and planted those trees. I am going to charge them for those trees. I think this will teach them a lesson. So anyway, that's the trees. But guess what? When the tour was done around the farm, we were growing some vegetables, right, at the farm. I mean, I know I didn't update you guys, but we had a tractor plow 90% of the land. So we said, you know what? We have 2 wells. We need to plant some vegetables to sell because we can't just rely on chickens only. And vegetables, all they need is just someone to water them. Nothing more, nothing less. Just water them. That's all. Chickens, maybe there's a bit of expertise that's needed. But to my surprise, the vegetables were not even watered on the day of the visit. Imagine that. Just watering. And these guys want their money at the end of the month, but they're not watering. When it comes to the actual farming area, the grass is growing like crazy. There's a part where they slaughter the chickens. There's feathers everywhere. So when I saw all this, I said to myself, there's no way I am going to publish this. You know why I did that? It's not because I was trying to deceive you guys. I was embarrassed for that video to go out. And that's the honest truth. I was embarrassed. Here I am thinking, I have serious progress happening on the ground. And now I have this. Secondly, you know, I did that video where I said my chickens are not growing. They're only 1.2 kgs. Turns out that one of the issues was fumigation. They were not cleaning the chicken runs after they move all the chicks out. Sometimes they will just clean on the day and then put chicks inside into the brooder. They not even one day did they fumigate properly and let it dry or let it and left it like that for about 10 to 14 days, which is what is recommended. That never happened. So I am confident that this is what affected the what? The chicks, for them not to grow. And here I am thinking, what the hell am I doing wrong? And you know what really hurts me the most? This has been happening for 4 or 5 months. I've been buying 100 chick batches. I didn't announce it because I wanted to get the formula of how it's done. And say, once I nail it, then I can come and announce and say, yay, guys, you know what? Now I'm selling chickens. For 5 months, I've been pumping money. Nothing has been coming out of it. So with this crew, at least they're not stealing. Or let me not speak too fast. Now I'm even afraid to say what I need to say, you know? At least I cannot see that there's anything missing or whatever it is. But in terms of the job that needs to be done, it's very disappointing. And remember, these are guys who came, or this is a guy who came and said, I have expertise in these chickens. And this time around, I feel bad because again, and I know I keep doing the same mistake, I didn't do enough due diligence. I didn't ask for references to say, look, where did you work? Where's the proof? Where's the evidence that you know how to do it? Because Zimbabweans will tell you they know how to do anything. So here we are again. But the good news is, I've got a professional I'm working with now. He has given us a plan, exactly what we need to do. So everything is being done according to the vet. Now we're not listening to the guy who came in with, oh, I've got experience in growing chickens. No, we're not listening to him. Now we're listening to a professional. And this professional is willing to help. And I will share his details once we start producing some very good batches. And by the way, if you haven't gone to Ruwa Organic yet to sign up for the chickens and be notified when the chickens are ready, go ahead to ruwaorganic.com. I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. Why am I sharing this video even though it's so embarrassing? Yes, it's embarrassing. What really gave me the courage to share this video is yesterday, a good friend of mine, he called me. And he was inspired by my videos. So he started doing a project for rabbits, a rabbit project. And he said to me, look, your videos inspire me so much. They are fantastic. I decided to start my project back home. I said, so what project is it? And this is going back a few months ago. I'm going into rabbits, I even got the market, blah, blah, blah. I said, this is fantastic, At least sometimes when you go back to Zim, whether it's for holiday or whatever, you don't have to raise money for what? For the tickets, because there's money on the ground, your little farm is generating money. So it makes things easier. And we were agreeing, we were excited, everything was cool. But before we ended the call, I asked him, so who's taking care of this project? And he said, my mom. So at the time, of course, I'd done videos before saying don't do business with what? With relatives. But I know how close he is with his mom. I thought, what? If I say this might, be a problem. So I just said, no, what? If you trust your mom, it's all good. Yesterday, he calls me. So I said, hey, I think he probably saw one of my videos. So I said, hey, how is everything? And how's the rabbit project? He says, all the rabbits are gone. I could not help myself but laugh. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking I was laughing at him, but the laugh came from what's wrong with people? Why? And for this guy, it was his mother. And, we just both started laughing. We just both started laughing because it was just so unbelievable that your own mother will destroy a project like this. So anyway, he was told that majority of the rabbits died. So out of frustration, he just said to his mom, you know what, the rest of them, just eat them. Just eat them. But what made me feel really sad was when the mom said, so can we use the the rabbit houses to put our own rabbits in there? And that's when I say to myself, wow, the audacity. The audacity. Guys, I'm speaking like it's just a story. These stories I'm sharing with you, they are happening to so many people. But they just don't have a platform to share it. So to you, it comes across like Ruwa Organic is always complaining. He's always this. He's here we go again. Here we go again. He's always crying. He's always crying. No. It's not just me. But it's for you to understand that sometimes you have the passion, the will to want to do something. But you know who lets you down? Your own people. And I think I touched on that on a video that I did yesterday. This is the most difficult part because for a lot of people, they're here in the diaspora. They have to work. That's the reality. They have to work because they're not ready yet to move to Zimbabwe. So they have to work. But they are really eager to want to move back home. But they can't do both at the same time. They can't. They have to work because that's the source of income. So if they stop working and focus on this, then the income stops because this needs time to grow. The investment needs time to grow. So that is where a lot of diasporans are stuck and frustrated because there isn't that middle path that connects the two. We're being scammed every day, and that includes me. And I share my stories here. So I thought to myself, maybe it's a Zimbabwean thing. I have issues with Zimbabweans. And then I thought again, when I first came to this country, we used to clock in. You know those clock in cards? I mean, some of you that worked in factories, I think you may have, you remember this. Before you start work, you used to clock in. And automatically it records what time you came in. And then when you go out, you clock out to show what time you left. And that system would calculate your hours, blah, 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 and so on. Why? Well, in my opinion, that system was put there because you can't trust workers to come on time. You tell them come at 7 o'clock. They won't come at 7 o'clock. So I think here in the West, they mastered it. They thought to themselves, you know what? We can't rely on these people anymore. Let's add this system. And then after that, do you know what they did? I used to work at Amazon, and people used to steal at Amazon at the time. But now look at Amazon. First they put cameras, then they put security measures. And this is in the UK. They put security measures. And now they've put robots. Because they are learning. Maybe it's just in the nature of human beings. Maybe it's not just a Zimbabwean thing. Now it's even crazy to a point where even on the bus there's cameras. On the trains there's cameras, because you can't trust human beings to just be decent and not fight on the bus or steal on the bus or just cause harm to someone on the bus. But now those cameras are making people disciplined. But in Zimbabwe, we still want that trust to say, my brother-in-law is going to be helping with this. My mother, my own mother, how can she mess things up? No, she's a human being. She can. Your mother can also be jealous. Your mother can also be, may also not want you to succeed. Your own mother. It happens. But we just grew up with this thing where we put our moms on this pedestal where they are saints. They don't do anything wrong. And then we get devastated when something happens. So at least for me, I learned it the hard way. I don't work with relatives, no matter what. Whether it's a brother or whatever it is. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for every single person. No, because maybe you have relatives that are cool and you get along and everything's all good. But for me, no. I know problems that can stem from that. So I don't even go near that. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because if you haven't started your projects, just be very careful. Just be very careful. But even better, do you know what's really cool? Because I want to end this video on a very good note. You know what's really cool? Kumusha Investments has started. So what Kumusha Investment is going to do is to take away that risk of you losing money through scams, through your relatives, through everyone. Because when you invest in Kumusha Investments, right, you're an investor into a project that is going to be managed by professionals. By professionals. So you can continue working because that's where that's the source of income. You continue working, you put it in the investment, and then everything is taken care of professionally, updated, everything will be on point. So I opened up the doors yesterday for investors and Kumusha Investments. Go ahead, the link to that is in the video description below. Just sign up. Now, how this is going to work is, unlike before, where we publicized everything and the evil people came through and they tried to jam up the program. But now, this is Ruwa Organic 2.0. A lot of things have changed. We now have a private WhatsApp group. It's not going to be published out there. No, it's for investors. And all the important discussions are going to happen in the private group. We're going to have private Zoom meetings. We're going to have our committees chosen from that group. But we're not doing it publicly because we noticed that if you put it in the public, there are a lot of haters out there. They'll come in and try and destroy it. So we want a group of like-minded people who are serious about investing, who are serious about planning for their retirement. So the link to that is in the video description below. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I thought I'll just give you a quick update just to let you know what is happening with Ruwa Organic. The good news is we're not backing down. Now we're working with a vet. Very soon I'll be announcing when the chickens will be available. So go to ruwaorganic.com and sign up for the chickens. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.